in 2017. And one of the big four was housing. And we did everything because it is the right thing to do, and all of us agree. So when we were elected, we wanted to do housing. I remember very well, we went to Parliament, we passed the law, we created the fund, we created the levy. In fact, President Uhuru told me he knew of somebody called Charles Hinga, who was in South Africa, and who was a good expert in these matters of housing. We brought him. We looked for him. We brought him to Kenya. We met him, Principal Secretary for Housing. And then when everything was ready, and we started to collect the levy, and then there was noise. No, this levy, I don't know. These ones are complaining, those ones are complaining. Maandamano hapa, nini pale, nini kelele. Then President Uhuru called me and told me, William, si wewe uko na nyumba? Nikamwambia ndio, mimi niko na nyumba. Sasa hii kelele hii tunapigiwa ni ya nini? Kama hao watu hawataki manyumba, achana na hawa. So our housing plan collapsed. But you see, the irony is that that was 2017. Come 2022, housing was in the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza, mine. Housing was in the manifesto of the opposition, then Azimio, complete with 1.5% levy. Si mimi kwa bahati Mungu amenijalia nimeshinda uchaguzi. Housing si ndio hiyo iko hapo. Sasa ule Hinga was still PS, so I told him you are not going anywhere. Sasa tufanye hii kitu this time. Akaniangalia, akaniambia hii utawezana na makelele. So the keleles came. I was given new names, Sakayo, I don't know who. But I stood my ground. Because it was the right thing to do 40 years ago. It is still the right thing to do now. Because, let me give you an example. I invited the president of Singapore. He came to Kenya in 2023. Singapore was exactly like Kenya. Not even exactly. Singapore was actually a slum like Kibera in 1963. Just imagine. Singapore, if you look at the pictures, and he told me that they actually used force to get people to move from the slums to go and occupy houses on the 10th floor and 15th floor and 30th floor. For Kenya, we didn't have to use force. So he told me housing is something that you must do. It's not easy, but it changes a nation. Just look at the difference. They implemented housing in 1964. Today, Singapore is a first world country. 95% of their population are home owners. The opposite is that in Kenya, we did not implement. We are a third world country. 7 million Kenyans live in slums. Do you see the difference? So, we're implementing housing. In fact, I think my team has some pictures on what we are doing in Kenya. Today, we are building 230,000 units. 230,000 units in every town and townships in Kenya. I mean, if there is one thing that is going to change the destiny of our nation, it's housing. If you go to Mandera, you go to Wajir, you go to Kitui,